So recently, PragerU, and I tweeted about this, PragerU put out a video about why Robert E. Lee is actually just the bestest. So let's take a look.
Who was Robert E. Lee? Statues of great historical figures, like Robert E. Lee, are being torn down across America.
Oh no, not the statues of people who fought to preserve slavery, the horror.
Some facts about Lee that remind us why his statue should remain.
Also, this is fun. A lot of people might think that, like, statues of these people are, like, I don't know, over 100 years old. Like, maybe they were put up right after the Civil War during Reconstruction or something. No, they weren't. Most of the statues that you see of, like, Civil War generals and stuff like that were put up in either the 1920s and 30s, with the rise of, like, the KKK and stuff, and then many of them were put up during the 1960s in response to the Civil Rights Movement. So yeah, we know exactly what the statues are for.
Robert E. Lee was connected to George Washington through his father, Light Horse Harry Lee, Washington's cavalry commander, and his wife, Martha Washington's great-granddaughter. Lee's home at Arlington House was...
Am I supposed to be impressed that he's related to George Washington? I don't care who someone's related to. He fought to preserve slavery. And also George Washington also owned slaves. So...
just 10 miles from Washington's Mount Vernon. Today, it is the site of Arlington National Cemetery. After 30 years of military service, Lee led U.S. Marines to crush the attempted slave rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown.
Am I supposed to hear that Robert E. Lee crushed a slave rebellion and think, wow, good job, by radical abolitionists? All these radical abolitionists wanting people not to be enslaved. I do not care. In fact, I'm very happy if slaves rose up and killed their slave owner masters. I don't care. Good. They were slave owners. If people, and these are the same people, by the way, that will claim, like, oh, the government collecting taxes and providing services to people, that's oppression, that's socialism. But when we're literally talking about someone owning another person, a group of people, and then those people who are being subjugated rising up against these people, then they're radical abolitionists. It's almost like it's always been about race. Weird.
In October 1859, 21 co-conspirators had seized a federal armory, and all of them were killed or captured, including John Brown, who was tried and hanged for treason.
Am I supposed to be like, yay? No! If someone is trying to, like, overthrow the institution of slavery, I'm on that person's side. Surprise!
Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country.
Which is why he stopped a slave rebellion. Weird how that works. And also, if you say, like, slavery bad, and then you go and fight for a country that seceded specifically to keep the institution of slavery alive, I don't care what words you said, your actions speak louder than those words.
But considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
Ah! It's like white man's burden shit.
Opposing secession, Lee foresaw no greater calamity for the country than a dissolution of the Union. But when Virginia seceded in a close vote, Lee resigned his commission. Despite offers to command Union forces, Lee opted to organize the defense of his native state.
So he's a hypocrite. So he's a loyalist sack of shit that instead of standing up for his own beliefs, decided to go and work for a country that seceded to keep slavery a thing. Great. What a great guy.
After 4 years as Confederate commander, Lee became an icon of reconciliation upon his surrender. As president of Virginia's Washington College, he favored education for freed slaves but opposed their right to vote.
You're giving me reasons why I don't like him. You're giving me reasons why I don't like him. Opposing their right to vote is bad.
Lee died from a stroke in 1870 and is buried beneath Lee Chapel in what's now Washington and Lee University. His legendary warhorse Traveler rests in a plot nearby.
Build a statue to the horse. Fuck Robert E. Lee. At least the horse had to haul Lee's fat ass around, right? It was doing something. Robert E. Lee just sounds like a fucking cunt. Like, what in that video are supposed to make me like him? Here, and don't think it's just like, oh, just here's a general education video about Robert E. Lee. The title that they put is Statues of Robert E. Lee are being removed across America, this time at the U.S. Capitol. Here's why Lee's statue should remain. Okay, so he fought to keep slavery as a thing. I don't care what he said about it. He did that. He stopped a slave revolution, an uprising, whatever you want to call it, and he opposed the rights of black people to be able to vote. These are things I'm supposed to be like, yay, build a statue. Mask is coming fully off for these idiots. What assholes. Seriously. I cannot believe they posted this. Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on.